What up, people, and welcome to Lanepod, City of Lane's 10 to 15 minutes weekly podcast focused on MBA admissions and experiences for motivated Africans. So, whether you're an MBA enthusiast, an applicant, an admit, a student, or an alum, here is the show for you. I'm Samuel, your host, and today's topic titled Crafting a Winning Essay or Interview Response is inspired by a product manager in the financial industry services in Nigeria. Let's delve right into it. A huge portion of the MBA journey involves writing or voicing over a short but compact response, either through the application essays, the cover letter, your school work, the interviews, internships, work, or even the application, presentations, emails, and coffee chats with colleagues, whatever mode of communication with people. It involves us trying to voice over a short and compact response. The problem is thinking that the way to ace the interview or to impress people on the other end is by trying to give them so many thoughts all at once, and we think we have to speak faster so that we can squeeze into that 2-minute slot or 500-word essay all the thoughts that we have in our head, only to end up sounding like a badly rehearsed version of Michael Jackson. But you see, when that comes to mind, you start asking yourself the question, how do I then craft a winning response? Whether that be in an essay, in an interview, or just trying to chat with my professor or lecturer or speak to someone that I'm trying to impress. Well, the answer to your question is make it easy for the interviewer or listener to find what they are looking for. I'll pause there for a moment. Make it easy for the reader or listener to find what they're looking for. What are they looking for? The direct answer to the question being asked. Nothing more, nothing less. Answer the question first, and that's why it's called the answer first approach. So in this episode, I'll tell you what it's really about. I'll explain why it works, the rationale behind it, and then I'll finally wrap up with how you can use it. So what exactly is the answer first approach? It's also known as the pyramid principle. So it's a communication approach that involves presenting your conclusion or your main point up front. Unlike the traditional storytelling approach, the Nollywood or Bollywood or Hollywood approach, where you kind of provide a backdrop, you then build suspense up to climax, and then you reveal your big answer. The answer first approach actually flips the script. Instead, you reveal your big answer up front, you explain why that is your big answer, shortly summarize it, and then you provide reasons. And this is very important for Africans because we were never raised to provide the answer first approach. We were raised with a traditional storytelling approach where, we kind of have to build crescendo to the answer, almost like telling without telling. It could be a cultural thing, I would argue, but I also think that it's very convenient. You've got 1, 2, 3 people listening to you, don't have to listen to someone else yet. So they have all the time in the world to provide you the moment. And sometimes people don't have all the time in the world, but they're just being polite. So, before I delve into why it works, if you really want to learn more about the thinking behind this approach, I recommend that you read the book called The Pyramid Principle by Barbara Minto. If there's one book on earth besides the Bible, if there's one book on earth that I feel I should have read, that I have regrets not reading as a baby, it would be The Pyramid Principle by Barbara Minto. I wish I'd read this earlier. So I'm giving you a red gem here. Go figure out, find the book, and read it. You may not understand it the first time, but invest everything you have to reading and reading until you fully understand. So now let's delve into why it works. I started mentioning your friends and family members, and they kind of care about you. You fight, you dislike your siblings, but you love them at the same time. When they give you audience, they try to listen to you, right? They're not timed. But your reader, your interviewer in your MBA journey, what they care about is not you. I'm sorry, they don't care about you, not the way your family or friend would, but they care about the answer that they have been tasked to find. Think about it. That outcome officer is reading your application has been tasked to find quality candidate. That interviewer or the person you're having coffee chats with has been tasked to find the right candidate for their work. That lecturer that is, listening to you has been tasked to teach you and find the right quality to continue to push forward. Everyone is looking for something from you to make sure they're doing their job right. They don't have all the time in the world for climax and suspense. Well, they'll watch a Netflix if they need to, or they'll see a movie if they have to experience some kind of climax. And also, think about it. They're not just listening to you. All these people that I've talked about, including your colleagues, right? They're speaking to a lot of people every day. On an average, an application outcome, and I could be wrong about this, but I would be shocked if they do anything less than 20. So they've got a lot of people queuing up that they have to sieve through. Do you think they're really interested in your climax? No. The second reason why this approach works is your listener's brain works like a RAM. Going back to the point that they don't really care about you, but they care about the answer they're looking for. Their brain works like a computer RAM, which is random access memory. It's volatile and short term. Think about it. If you were in someone's shoes and you're doing interviews, do you think you want to be remembering the details of what that interviewee told you when you've got a daughter to pick up from daycare? No. So everything you say, it's in the volatile short-term memory packed. So you do not want to introduce extraneous materials, but only the answer that they're looking for. They're not storing your information in their ROM. The third reason why this works is, and this, we've talked about two reasons that's mostly focused on the other side. This third reason is specifically for you. By revealing your answer first, you've challenged yourself to tailor your content and construct a well thought out response. What do I mean by that? By saying, here's the answer I'm going to give. You're going to be thinking in a very tailored manner. What do I need to back up to make sure that this answer is believable? And that's all you do. And you quickly realize that 500 words, it's more than enough and sufficient for what you're trying to do. So now let's talk about how to use it. First, identify your one sentence answer. Don't start writing until you know what you're going to say in one sentence. If I ask you that question and I say, give me your answer in one sentence, you should be able to give me your answer in one sentence. Then another sentence, give me the rationale behind why your answer is the right answer in this situation. And then build out your argument that backs up your rationale. And that's the way to do it. When it comes to building that rationale or argument, the second point I want to make is have no more than 3 points that you're making. The brain, really, an average person can only hold between 2 to 5 thoughts in their mind. It's only the geniuses that go above 5, and I think the max is 9. Well, don't ever try to go beyond 3. I'd argue that 3 is enough. 1 is memorable. You can dive deeper into 1 point and explain and expound on it. 2 is a perfect. It's just perfect, like it's 1 or 2. 3 is a stretch. Never do 4 or 5. I'll repeat it again. 1 is memorable. 2 is just perfect. 3 is a stretch. Never do 4 or 5. Never go above 3. The other third point, and I'm making and how you use this, is once you have your 3-sentence answer, like your answer, your rationale, and your argument outline, the next thing you need to do is put this into an outline, write it out clearly. Here's what my intro is going to be, here's what my body is going to be, here's what my outro is going to be. then use your outline to guide your writing. Use your outline to dive into the granularities. You see, I love this approach, and it was a game changer for me when I was writing grants and raising funds for my startup. It was a game changer because at first it was just okay. I had no idea what I was trying to say, the answer I was trying to give. So I was just trying to throw shit on the wall, stuff on the wall, and see which one sticks first. And that's a very inefficient approach to doing things. But when you have an outline, you can then say, okay, I'm focusing on this part of the outline today. And you dig deep into it and you answer it. And you don't have to worry whether it connects with the other part because you've already created an outline that clearly brings out the relationship. It makes your writing very clear and easy to read. So, those are the three things I would ask you to do. What's it? Number one, first identify your one sentence answer, rationale, and argument. Make sure you have no more than 3 reasons. Develop this into an outline and then use your outline to guide your writing and dive into the granular details of what you're trying to do. One thing I'd say is remember you won't get this right on the first try. I hear people say they're stuck on how to start their essay. That's because they're focused on the wrong things. They're focused on trying to build that, wow opening statement. No, now it's not the time to build a wow opening statement. Answer the question first. Create your outline, and then once you have all that in place, you can then focus on what that wow statement would look like. So in conclusion, your job is to make it easy for others to find the answer they're looking for. If you can remember that, your responses to whatever kind of question will be 10 times better than what they are right now. So, to that product manager, as well as from the product manager from Nigeria and Mubashir from Ghana, thanks for your questions because they've inspired this content today. And to all of you listening to this, thank you to you in particular. Yes, you. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And if you'd like to ask a question or learn more about Lane, the links and descriptions are in the show note, or you can just Google and find us. I'll see you in the next episode.